Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Entitled woman forced my ex into signing a do not resuscitate for her own benefit. Really needed to vent. This has been ongoing for the better part of a year, and it came to a boiling point today. Firstly, my ex and I are close. She is my best friend. She has a life-threatening defect, and the relationship ended because she didn't want to put me through potentially losing her. I didn't want a divorce, and will always love her. I tried to tell her that, but she had an outside influence that convinced her that divorce was the best option. She was born with a heart defect. She's a 30-year-old, petite Chinese woman, and after 2 years of obstacles, she was finally approved for heart surgery to hopefully fix the problem. Long story short, I have been spending a lot of time in the hospital this past week while she's prepped for the surgery. I was with her today, and one of the nurses came in to talk about a do not resuscitate order. I asked, WTF is this about? To be honest, I was fighting to keep my cool. Apparently, my ex and her quote-unquote power of attorney spoke with a nurse, and this supposed quote-unquote power of attorney convinced my ex-wife to add a do not resuscitate order. I asked my ex when she changed the power of attorney, because I thought I was it, and she stated that she never changed it. So, the entire story is that her friend Kathy was at the hospital and stuck her nose in where it didn't belong, completely lied to the nurses, and bullied her into signing it. My ex is a quiet, shy, little soft-spoken woman who can't handle confrontation. I took today off work to sit at the hospital to wait for that bitch Kathy. She showed up, and I confronted her about making medical decisions for my ex. Her excuse was, oh, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can't stop God from taking her angels back, and it's just the right thing for her. I have children, and ex would want the money going to my kids. So, Kathy forced my ex into signing a do not resuscitate because it's the best thing for Kathy's kids? At this point, I am pissed the fuck off. I asked my ex, is this really what you want? If it is, I'm cool with it. Ex told me that this is not at all what she wants. She is young and doesn't want to die. If something goes wrong and she can be saved by resuscitation, then she absolutely wants to be saved. I looked at Kathy and told her that she is not to step 1 foot back in this hospital to see my ex. She screamed at me, saying I have no business in telling her what to do and that she's going to do whatever the hell she wants. I'm a big man, so I essentially forced her to the elevator like she was a toddler having a tantrum. Edit. After some probing with the nurses and admin, I was informed that Kathy got the paperwork from the admin office. At first, I just thought that Kathy convinced my ex that it's for the best to not be resuscitated, and that she doesn't want to burden anyone if something happened. But now it's my belief that Kathy snuck the paperwork in with some of the other paperwork my ex was signing for pre-surgery. I called my lawyer, and he will be meeting with us at the hospital tomorrow. Entitled woman is trying to kill my ex. Even more chaos. So much crap went down today that I once again need to vent. I also have a complete understanding of how everything went down now, and there is so much stupidity by the hospital's administration. So, the do not resuscitate bullshit has been removed, and now we have a lawyer involved. The full story of how that bitch Kathy got my ex to sign the DNR is absolutely disgusting. My ex had to get some tests done where they cut in an artery and go up to the heart to inject a dye to take pictures of the heart to have a better game plan. That bitch Kathy had taken my ex to the hospital for that, and as soon as the procedure was done, Kathy had my ex sign a bunch of post-dated DNR paperwork and handed it to the hospital admin. My ex literally just got out of a procedure high as fucking Everest from pain meds, signed a post-dated DNR, and the hospital admin didn't bat an eye at accepting it. I was on my knees, screaming thank you to that nurse that came in when I was at the hospital to say something about the DNR. If she didn't, everyone would still be blissfully unaware. Before I could even deal with this new information, my ex asked me if I could go to her townhouse to feed Smoothie, her cat. Her keys were nowhere to be found. I thought maybe my ex misplaced them, so I decided to go over anyways and possibly get in through an unlocked window. I wasn't going to let Smoothie down. When I arrive, you guessed it, that bitch Kathy has moved her ass, her 2 kids, and her fat ass alcoholic Shrek-looking baby daddy in. Why is this insane woman acting like my wife is dead? Even if she were, Kathy is not the beneficiary. Obviously this is illegal, so a few hours with police, neighbors, and a lawyer, we got their asses booted out. I go in and I can't find Smoothie. I look everywhere and start shouting for him. I hear a faint meow coming from a locked toolbox. They locked away poor Smoothie in a toolbox. Kathy then sent me scathing text messages that would make a sailor blush. I, of course, am the bad guy for booting her little babies out of the house, and the police traumatized them. My ex's sister is now flying up from the US to house sit, just in case Kathy tries to come back. Update on entitled woman trying to kill my ex. Just wanted to update you guys on everything since it's been several days. The surgery went amazingly well, 12 hours in, and it's done. She's already out of the ICU, and they've had her walking. As for bitch Kathy, we thankfully haven't heard or seen her since the house incident, likely because she knew if she did anything more, she would be treading on thin ice with getting jail time or getting charges. Even after all that though, the cops aren't even going to try to pursue charges. We're in Toronto, and the cops suck here. My lawyer said there's nothing I can do about it either. Apparently what Kathy did doesn't even count as fraud, since my ex, even though signing it high as F, was still the one who signed the DNR. To end this on a bright side though, my ex-wife wrote a letter to me and gave it to me before she went in for surgery. She stated that she regretted divorcing and that she still loves me. So, despite everything else, it's been a good day. This one deserves a great googly moogly. Even though OP can't take legal action, I still think that him and his wife should file a restraining order against Kathy, and they should absolutely get security cameras just in case she does come back. As a Canadian, I can only go off what I know about the Canadian legal system from my own experiences. And yeah, in some departments, it is very lenient, and breaking and entering is an area where it's very lenient. I used to work in foreclosed property management and had to deal with break-ins constantly. That always resulted in 0 consequences. So I'm not surprised to hear that they didn't do anything about Kathy breaking in and setting up shop. OP also states in the comments that he doesn't want to assume anything, but the officer they were dealing with was unusually cold towards his wife. And he thinks it's because she is Chinese. So it is a possibility that they were dealing with a racist cop, which is very unfortunate and sad if that were to actually be the case. Anyways, I'm glad though that this ended with a somewhat happy ending with the letter, and I hope there is one more update where OP states that he re-proposed to his wife and they get remarried. I really hope it works out for them from here on out. But that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this Entitled People story with the updates. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!